relationship management. So I think but you might be pretty much aware that what is relationship management, RDBS product, and what is non-RDBS products. So this is RDBMS product, that is Oracle Relationship Management, and there are other non-RDBS products which can be like MongoDB, yes, and DB. Yeah, so the difference between both of these databases is that this database, so you can define the uniqueness of the database. Suppose you want to deal with the banking applications. And in that case, there might be some of the properties which might be unique. And every time somebody enters data, you will force kind of restriction that you have to enter this number. Otherwise, your data won't be accepted. Because this that every data which is entered is important. So you don't want to lose any data. So it is based on ACID properties. ACID stands for automaticity, consistency, isolation, durability. We will understand what are these things. Okay? ACID properties mean all the data on this database are really important. So MongoDB, Cassandra are the databases which is used for web-based application like Twitter, Instagram. They use this kind of databases where there is no restrictions. You can enter character, number, anything, anywhere. Over here, you can define, when you write a table, you can define whether you want to use only character, varchar, numbers. You can define what kind of inputs you need for a column. And the thing is that this database is have more kind of dependencies, like the primary key, foreign key, unique key. You define, and that on the basis of that one, you can create indexes and everything. The following is a list of Oracle database addition in order to priority. Enterprise Edition. It is the most robust and secure edition. It offers all features, including superior performing and security. So Enterprise Edition is the most used. It is used in a production for the applications, and it have got all the features like the RMM backup, DR setup, and the cloning part, and everything is available on this one. So the licensing cost of this database is always higher. Now, if you just need a database which there are some of the features which is not available in the standard editions, like the RMN is not available, and performance tuning is kind of thing which is not available in this database. You cannot perform tune, you cannot tune any databases. Express Edition, it is a lighter version of database. It is freeware, limited with the Windows and anything. So most of the company they use for development or any kind of testing these databases. Personal database, this is a normal database which have very less features compared to other features. So probably when you install databases, all databases installed comes with there, but you can't use some of the feature which is restricted by the Oracle. If you use this feature which is restricted by the user in this enterprise editions, in these other editions, you have to pay some licensing cost. So probably many of the company for production, they use enterprise editions, and for the other like development, testing, UAT, they prefer using standard edition or the express editions. So Oracle was started in 1984, first databases. So this is the history of the databases. And the most popular database Oracle was initially 11G. So 11G have released 1, release 2. And then we have Oracle 12C, which is a multi-tenant databases. Let's understand what is multi-tenant. Now, the problem is over here is that for every database, I need specifically I need RAM, CPU. So if I want to put all these 3 databases on one server, that means I have to add all this RAM together, 64 into 64 plus 64 plus 64. CPUs, 4 plus 4 plus 4. Okay, because the memory, this needs, because this will have its own background processes, this will have its own background processor, this will have its own background processes. But this was kind of overhead that every time there was some issue, like you have one database running, suppose there is some load, there might be load increased on the server, which might impact other databases. There is a much load available on this one. It just might impact another database performances. So in order to deal with situation, Oracle came with a new concept called multi-tenant database, multi-tenancy database. So now what I will do, this is called CDP based PDP and CDP based databases. Now this is my container. This will be my container. Now every database will have independently their own background process, which is responsible for keeping this database up and running and processing. It's a database engine with their own. But over here, with the help of multi-tenant architecture, database will have only one single background processes. Now earlier they used to have their own background process, but now all the background process will be shared among that, because this container itself is a database, and this database are plug-in databases, plug-in, plug-out, plug-in, plug-out. So this is called container, and this is called PDPs, portable databases. PDPs. So this is called PDPs. Now in future, if you want to add some more databases, you can directly plug in. You can create more databases and plug in into this one. So there is always a room for your databases. You can add one more if you want in future. But over here, if you want to shut down or you want to drop any databases, this one, so in case, you can log into the container, switch to the session and switch it off. There is a probably given talk. Log into the container database. Container equals to a name of your PDP, UAT, DB. Now you switch to this database. Now you can perform all your actions and everything. Okay. And if you want to switch back to this one, you can, instead of exit, put the exit and switch to databases. So this is called the multi-tenant databases. Now the advantage of this database over this is that earlier, all this background processing needs some memory, CPU, RAM, storage, and everything. Now, instead of having their own background processor and sharing memory with the CPU and everything, now they all will share all this background process together, and they will use a single whatever the memory you have given. Okay, so now if the load have increased for this one, that automatically this will be balanced by this one. Earlier we used to give RAM, because apart from the RAM everything, there are kind of SGA, PGA. SGA is a system global area which you have to define for specific databases. Now we have to specify for the entire container. So if this have almost like 128 GB of RAM, which will be shared among 3. If you add one more database, it will be shared among 4. Earlier, they do not used to share their memories like the CPU, RAM, anything. But now it will be shared with the help of PDP and CDP concept. So PDP, CDP concept was introduced in 12C database. Oracle multi-tenant databases. Oracle has announced many different features with version 12 at 20. It has already echoed in the market and have most important lesson for this announcement. Now the concept of G-Grid in 11G, 10G, and 11G has been replaced by the C Cloud. Oracle top features as follows: Oracle multi-tenant, parsing, online data files move, table restore from full backup, invisible column, automatic data optimization, flex ASM data masking, multiplex index for same column. So this is the background process. This is the architecture database. This is the architecture of a databases. Okay. So these are the background processes: PMON, SMON, GRECO, MMM, MML, others. Okay. So these are the mandatory background processes. If any of the process is killed or it's down, that means it's going to affect your database entirely. Now we'll understand one by one what are the things. Data files. Let's understand what is data files. Data file is something which is stored on the memory. Memory is over here is something on the OS level side. Control file is again a data. It's again a physical thing which is available. We can see that on the OS side. Background process again we can see on the OS side. It is again can be seen. Table something which cannot see, that is logical. Table space again something which we cannot see on the OS is logical. Even database objects are logical. So anything which we can see on the machine. Example, now I can say something, this file is physical, it's not logical. So anything which we can see. Table is something which we cannot see. If you want to see a table, you have to log in database and select stuff from the table. Then that goes to data file which is available on the memory on the hard disk and will pull the data. There are different between that's a different between logical and physical databases. Now again we'll understand how database is stored in the in your database engines. First, there's a user. This is my database. This is my hard disk. And this is the user using some kind of applications. Now, this user have written command called 10. That means that's the limit for the number. It should be more than a 10 or less than 10. Name, which is varchar2, will go to database. It will first check whether the statement is valid or not. Statement is valid like whatever, like create table employee. So it will check already that is employee table or not. Then it will check the EMP number, all this thing, the characters, everything given is correct or not. Okay. Now, if I pass, it will go to that, go to the hard disk or the storage part. There will be table space. Table space, which is a logical one. Under table space, there will be one data file. How data file looks like? It looks like u01 slash system slash user slash users 01 dot dbf. Dbf means database file. This is how your data file looks like. Under that, it will create one table. So you can see that data file is something which is we can see on the OS. Here you can see u01 slash system slash user 01 dot dbf. So all your database objects like the table, index, views, materialized views, functions, trigger, all this everything, procedure, functions, all this remains in .dbf file. And this file are a binary file, which is not, we human cannot understand this file. So this file completely binary files are there. Okay. So in order to see any kind of contents on this file, you have to go with the help of database. You have to connect to database, select stuff from now. This database is stored. Now this have got the table EMP stored over here. EMP table saved. Now, if I want to see, like example, now this person have created a table. There one more person who have entered some records in the table, like insert into EMP and 10 dot run dot Now, this person have entered the record. Now, this will again go to this database engine, perform the check whether the statement is correct or not. If the statement is correct, then it will insert the records in the EMP table of this under the data file on the OS. Now, this person want to see the records from EMP table. How this person can see the table? How can see the records from the table? Can he directly go to this machine and see these records like the VI from the OS side? Sandeep, any idea like how we can this person can see? Can he just directly go to the OS to go to the memory and check the content from this file?
No idea. Maybe I don't know whether in Unix, if we do VI, whether we'll be able to see it.
Okay. Any Lakshmi, any idea how this person can see the record from this table?
You can do select star. Logically, you can do select star, but otherwise, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is that everything the database have, they are binary files. So any binary files database has, we can never ever understand. It's kind of a, whenever you open a file which is a binary file, it will not show any data. It will look like some kind of junk characters to you.
Okay.
So everything, a binary file can be accessed with the help of database engine only. So
Okay.
this person have to run a query. The query goes to server's engine over here. This is the, I have shown this already. Okay, can you see this one? Select stuff from SQL area. So your query goes to database engine over here. It goes to the library cache shared pool area. It's first perform the check whether all the character which you have entered is valid or not. Then it will go to database files. Can you see this 0101 the binary files over here? This is the database. This is data files. Okay. Now it will go to the operating system, check whether table exists or not. Then it will read the format, go back to your database engine, convert in a readable format for you because in readable format for you, and then it will display the result. So database engine is something which is for storing in a binary format. Now this is unable, you can understand this language, create table. Okay. Now this got converted into binary 0101 language and got saved on a file which was on the operating system or on the database hard disk. Now after that, somebody have executed select star from EMP. Now this goes to the engine again. Now this engine goes to the file where on the OS side, fetch the answer, fetch the result, convert in a readable format, and will show you the result on your machine. Might be SQL developer on a command prompt anywhere. Okay. Now this is how the result works. Okay. So all this background process on the database side are actually responsible for something or not. Free buffer cache. Okay. Now you have got the answer select star from EMP. Now again you have executed same command, or like example that one more person, he came and he have also executed the same thing. Yeah, but do you think it's going to go back to the database going to go back to the database on the storage, find the answer and come back? Exactly, because last time the same query, now where after executing the same query, Oracle engine assigns it a unique number. Okay, hash number. Okay, this hash number is assigned for this query. And if now earlier my question was select star from EMP. Now if this person have entered EMP, what he will do? That's right, because there's a change in the query. So you might have heard in a company, they always say that you either use all in upper letter or in the small letters, but never differentiate, because every time it confuses your database engine. This is it is going to consider this a new query. If you would EMP, it will go directly to library cache, and it already have a hash key assigned to it. Hash key. With the help of hash key, it will give you the result from the library cache instead of going back to the operating system, perform the IO, taking the result, coming back, converting a readable format, and showing the result. So this involves a lot of time and IO. Just example, this is a select start for EMP, but in a bigger organization, there might be millions of records in a table. So probably it have to do number of IO, which again takes the number of CPU, RAM, and everything. So this is called, now this word, which it is called, if you take any result from the now if you are taking any kind of you're fetching any result or any table or any record from the hard disk, that is called hard parsing. Hard parsing. Okay, any result. Now this is my example, this is my the library cache. Any result which is coming from the library cache is called soft parsing. Soft parsing, because it doesn't have to go to the operating system and bring the data. It have directly bring from the library cache. So this is how the cache of this is how the data engine works over shared pool area, shared SQL area. Okay. So every statement is giving some kind of unique hash key number. So probably if again you will do this hash selection of IMP, directly it will give the data from the library cache, which won't take much of time, and there won't be any kind of IO involved over here. But as soon as you change the character of the from uppercase to lowercase, uppercase, immediately a new hash key is generated for that one, and again it will go to the with the help of IO. This is operating system. This is storage one. Okay. So in many companies, they might differentiate these things. So this might be OS. It resides on different one. OS. Okay. Now this is my hard disk. In order to be on a safer side, to for the database corruption, database loss, they put this on a different server, and this storage is mounted with the help mounted with NAS or SAN storage. So every time you select star anything, it have to perform number of action in the background with the help of network bandwidth. It will go to the storage part, fetch the query, get the result, convert it in your form, and then give you the results. This was the library cache. Now we'll understand what are the online files, archive files, flashback files, control files. So control file, let's understand control files. What is control file? It's again a very important thing for database. Control file is again a binary file. Any binary file is something which we cannot understand. So we cannot understand anything what is written in a binary. Control file. First, it is a binary file. Second, it stores information about database like SCN number, data file location, data file location, database unique name, third, it marks watermark to data files after commit duration, it keep consists of data. Now, this is the content of our data file. This is the database. Okay. Now the control file. So whenever user perform the update query or anything like update table EMP. Now this EMP table is stored in, might be any you can go to any like might be any data file, okay, any data file, might be system or user, anyone. Now there should be some kind of thing which should mark that yes, this table has been updated to whether system or user. That role is done by the database and it is marking control file. So control file is something like it have all the information of database, the timing, the database consistency. So every time, just example, this database is marked. Data file is marked. I'm giving example 1376. Okay. 1784. Now suddenly your database get crash. It got crash. Your database got crash. Now, with the help of backup, you already have a backup. So you restore the database. Database is restored. But who's gonna confirm the consistency of the database? So next time when the database is stored, when you're about to start database, this control file have a information that the data file's last sequence number was 13734. So either it should be 13734 or else it won't allow you to start a database because it had marked, watermark is given to data files. Because now after this update command, it have marked 13734 by marking that the database was last updated with this sequence number. Next time, if you restore database, it should you have to make sure that your database is coming with this number 13734. So 13734 is something which is coming on the basis of the record updations. So unless this 13734 is not recorded, it won't allow you to start the database. It will show inconsistency data. That's kind of error it will show you. So control file is a heart of database because it have all the numbers involved. It have everything given information like the data file location, where it was located, database SCN number, timing, database unique number, and how many redo log file, undo table space, every data file which your database is working on have all these records in your control file. So control file is a binary file. So, but if again you can convert this control file into readable format. Now, to convert, you can convert this control file into in a readable format. So even sometime when you duplicate database or when we want to restore database, we use control file because control file have all the information. So in that case, we do convert a control file into text format and we can read what exactly is written in this control file. So moving ahead in the practical session, we will convert this. We will check how to convert this in text file and what are the things in this control file. There are three files which is actually having all the information database. There is first is control file. Okay. Control file, SP file, P file. Okay, so control file is a binary format, and SP file again is a binary format. P file is a normal file. It's you can see this one with it's a readable format.
Okay, so all these three file combination is all three are control files, is it?
No. This control, it's only control. P file is a P file and SP file are a file with the help of which database starts. Okay. So
Okay.
that once like you have given a RAMs, LG memory defined over here. Okay. So
Mhm.
now your memory, whatever you have specified in the SP file, it's gonna keep it. It's like running with the hello SP file. Now, if you want to change anything, like you have to increase the P file and increase the memory for your database or anything, you will perform on the SP file and restart it. Control file is a runtime important. Runtime. Once your database starts, it's
Okay.
gonna take the control file. Like what is the location of data file? So location of data file is something which is stored in the control file.
Okay.
Database SN number is marked in a control file. So SP file, in SP file, you should have the location of control file. Okay, so these two file, binary file, SP file, they are like the same file, but it's a binary, it's a readable format. So you
Okay.
can start your database with the help of P file also. You can start your database with the help of SP file also. So, but control file is something which you can never ever change, make that changes to the control file. You can't change directly. But if you want to change something SP file, what you will do first, you will create a P file from SP file, make changes in P file, and then start, and then again create a SP file from P file and start databases. So database can be started with the help of P file. They are a memory initialization parameters. Memory initialization, database initialization parameters. Okay. So like the name of the database, version compatibility, what is the location of a control file. So it will read control file's location from the SP file or P file, and in control file, the actual location of data file, location of data files, and the redo log file and the SCN number, all this information are control file. Control file is something which doesn't have data. It have the locations, information, not the
Correct.
data.
Correct. So
Here you can, no, we can't start. Here you can see that the
yeah.
data file was located, but the SCN mark number was not up to date. It didn't
Okay.
allow us to start database.
Okay. Okay.
So control file is very important because every second, every fraction of second, it goes update the control file with different kind of number, SCN number. SCN number is like as soon as the database expands, it keeps on upgrading, like one to two to record, somebody's recording, updating command, somebody's updating, somebody DML is going on. So SCN number is keep on running in like in a front, like +1 +1 +1 +1. Okay. So it
Okay.
has to mark on the control file side. So if your control file is lost, you can't start your database. Either you will
Okay.
control, you will start a either if you have a backup of control file. So many companies control file, P file, SP file, they take backup of this file on a daily basis along with your database, complete database. Okay. If your control file is lost, you can't start it because you don't know where is the location of data file.
Mhm.
The location data file is in control file. If the control file is not there, how your database will understand where the database is there? What is the database name? What is the user DB file? What is the SCN number? It have no information. So let's last topic and then we'll end the session. How database starts or shutdown. Okay, let's understand. Let's understand the shutdown options. Shut immediately. Shut abort. Shut. Now, shut immediate. When you hit the call button, shut immediate. I'm giving example how the database is stopped. When you hit a shut immediate, and at the same time there was a transaction. Transaction was going on, and it was update table EMP. Now he was updating 500 records, and after 250 record was updated, someone shut, somebody stopped database. In this case, what it will do, it will immediately roll back the 22. It will stop that transaction immediately. It will roll back 250 record, which was updated. And it won't allow any new connections to connect to database. All the current connection databases will be stopped, and immediately your database will be rollback. It's going to perform a rollback. Okay, roll back all the transaction. Make sure that database is consistent. If you roll back all 50 records, your database will be consistent, because either it's going to wait for 250 transaction remaining 250 transaction to be updated, or else it will roll back 250 records and it will shut down the database, killing all the connected session and not allowing any new connections. That's what happened in when you hit a shut immediate. Now, what is shut abort? Shut abort. It's the most dangerous form of stopping database command. Okay, never ever do this shut abort in database. It's now, as I said, that was transaction going on. Somebody was recording tables, everything, updating tab, record. When you hit shut abort, it won't give time for this transaction to roll back 250 records. Immediately, everything will be killed. Immediately. No rollback, nothing. So this might lead to database corruption sometime. Sometimes it may result in database corruption. Database corruption because it doesn't allow you to roll back the transaction. But one more thing. Next time, when you start database, start immediate. Next time, it will go check what was the last command executed, shut abort. This time, while starting a database, it will perform the recovery, but not during the shutting down. Initially, with the help of shut immediate, first it used to undo the command, roll back the command, and then stop database, putting database in a consistent manner, and then stopping database. Over here, with the help of shut abort, it will immediately kill all the sessions. The transaction which was earlier was going on, now it will wait for those transactions to for the transaction to roll back or perform the query. If those transactions are not able to perform any kind of operations like the rollback or anything, your database will result in database corruption for some of the database objects. So shut abort is a very dangerous command. Shut immediate sometimes takes quite a long time because it's going to wait for all the transaction to roll back, perform the rollback of transactions. Database consistency is recorded. All the header file entries are marked in the control files. Now, once database is consistent, then only it will stop the database. And after stopping database, insert immediate command, when you start database, it won't take much of time because your database was already consistent, because it had wait for the transaction to roll back and update their records in the control file, and now there won't be any kind of recovery, so it won't take much of time. But in case of shut abort command, all the transactions which were already going on in process, they will be killed immediately without waiting for them to roll back the transactions. So their rollback will be is going to happen only and only when we'll start the database next time. So next time when you start the database after shut abort, it's going to ask all the pending transaction, all the failed transaction, all the transaction which was killed earlier to roll back. If any of the moment they are not able to roll back, that's going to lead to database corruption. So in database, as a DBA, your job is to make sure database never ever is encountered with any kind of corruption, because that table or objects might be very, very important to the company. So you have to make sure that you never use database shut about command, unless you don't need database. Sometimes you are working on database which needs to refresh right now, so in that case you don't need this data, so you can use shut about command. But in case of normal databases, never use shut about command. So the command for restarting database same. Start
Okay.
immediate. Start is like start immediate. Okay, so once your database is down, this command is same. But in whenever you hit a start immediate after share abort, it will go check the consistency of database. In the last shut abort, database was not consistent because it didn't allow any transaction to mark watermark to the control file's header file, data file. So it will go and check in the control file. Definitely, example now, we'll understand tomorrow how the asset property of database works. So you can understand that it is going to understand that thing, because a header file is 13874 data file, other is 156. It will automatically comes to know, because database is very, very smart to understand that last shutdown was abnormal. So it's going to wait for all the transaction to roll back. If not, then database corruption will be lead. It's going to lead.
Okay. Okay.
So there are different background processes which is responsible for recovering these transactions. That go SMON and PMON. Tomorrow we will understand the background processes and what they do in the background for the databases. Yeah. But the thing is, just imagine that now you have roll back the transaction and undo is there. But somehow when you shut abort, it immediately kills. It doesn't wait for a fraction of a second also. In a nanosecond, it's going to kill all the sessions. So sometimes it may be like like because it's a database. So all example now 250 records got updated. Okay. Now 251, 254 was going on, but the undo was till 250. What of the
Okay.
4 records? It was about to mark its presence in the undo table spread, but at that point of time, you kill the sessions. So 4 records are gone.
Okay. Okay.
So because it's not going to wait. In case of shut immediate, it's going to wait. It's going to wait for the 250 records to roll back. Once those transitions are rolled back, then only it's going to give the green signal for the database to shut down. It's going to go to control file. Control file will go to the data file, mark the watermark with the SCN number. Yes, the database is consistent. Now it's good to stop the database. But in case of abort, it's not going to wait for any, like all the session will be killed immediately with immediate effect. It like if you enter shut abort, you mean to say like this operation are performed by only DBA. So in order to perform this operations, you need to have access to the database. You are the DBA. So probably you might understand that the person who have done the first operation. Example, now we both are connected. You went to a database, you started the start immediate. But before that, I have done shut abort. Now your start image is going to wait for my database to go down. Unless the database is not down, it won't allow you to take this control. It's will first come, first serve. Unless your database is not coming back, starting immediate. But the thing is, it will not allow you, because so when you start database, listener is something which is address. So your database is example. I'm giving a database example. How the user applicant is connected to database. They are not connected to database directly. They are connected to database with the help of this file called listener. This listener have what? Give me example. What this listener have? This have TNS name, TNS details called first port of database on which is running, host name, SID. Okay, this is the important. This is the details you have to give to the application of the user. And if this listener is down, you can't connect to database even though database up and running. So when you shut abort, even this also goes down. So there is no provision that anyone will be able to connect database. So even if you start database, you have to start listener also manually. So this is the address. Your database address is overstored in the listener file. all the users, they might get details of the username, password, plus port number, hostname, SID. So let me show you how actually this looks like. See, hostname, port number, SID, service name, along with the username, password. So when you give this details, it will go to this host IP address, and it's gonna go and check the port number and the service name. This is the name of database. So if here I said, even though database up and running, unless this listener file is not up, you can't connect to databases. So after starting the database, you have to start this listener also manually. And once the listener is up and running, it will go to database and check. Now, once the database is up and running, it is open to allow new connections. When you click shut about, that means database is not up. It just will give an error like this one. Now database, there's nothing connection, test. It won't allow it, gonna give an error, testing connection. Now it going to the server, my VPN is not connected. That definitely it can't perform any kind of testing. It can't go and test connection because this host will not be reachable. The same thing is going to happen when your database is down.
Okay.
Then Lakshmi, any questions? Like, did you got this the answer right for your question?